Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be my interpretation of an evil, crazy, demon-y type jester. Yeah. It's not a recreation of anything, it's just something I thought I would try, and yeah, I think it came out fairly creepy, as most of my makeups tend to. I mean, there's a few people in the past that have requested that I do a kind of evil jester, so I'll flash their names on the screen now. There's not one particular person, because loads of people requested different variations of an evil jester, so there you go. But yeah, so there's not much else to say about this look really, other than if you'd like to learn how to recreate it, stay tuned. So the first thing I'm going to do is block out both of my eyebrows, so I'll put a link here to teach you guys how to do that if you don't know how to do it or have not seen my previous videos, just to make this video that much shorter. So I'm going to block them out and get back to you. Then I'm going to work on building up my brows, because I'm going to do it's going to be an angry brow as I usually like doing, but I'm going to push it really heavily up here, so it's going to be very arched. So I'm going to start by just going over my eyebrows in this general area for about 3 coats, letting it dry in between, and then I can start building it out with some tissue. So when I've got enough layers built up, I'm going to take some regular tissue paper that I've pulled in two, so I've got the thinner halves, and I'm going to use really little strips at a time, so probably smaller than that. And the idea is to apply latex in the area, push the tissue down, and then saturate the tissue, and just to build up the brow. I'm going to probably do that about 3 coats, and then I can take my thumbs and push this area out just before it dries, so I get a really strong arch. And in total I'm going to do about 7 coats. So there we are, so a very angry looking brow, but I pushed up extra heavily here just so I've got this shape going up, because I'm going to be shading it so it looks like the whole face is being pulled upwards. That's the idea. Then I'm going to put some liquid latex on my chin, and I'm going to do exactly the same again as I did on my brow. Just going to layer tissue after layer of tissue and then latex one after the other to about maybe 8 coats, just to make my chin a little bit more elongated. I usually would use a prosthetic for something like that, but I want to see if it's possible without. I always like trying new things, so let's see if it works. So as before, after 3 coats, I'm just going to take some tissue, push it down, and then pull off the edges and saturate that in latex. So eventually I'll just start building up this bulbous, more elongated chin. Actually, just thinking about it, if you want to speed up the process, you can use cotton wool. So I'm just going to apply some latex over the tissue again, and then I can just press some tissue down, making sure the edges are fairly thin, so it's more concentrated in the middle. And I can just pull away, and then I can saturate that with latex. So you can use cotton wool instead of tissue, it just depends how big you want the area. So I want this area to be quite big, so there we are. So not like ridiculously elongated, I don't want it to be too similar to my other clowns that I've done in the past, but noticeably elongated. Yeah, so then, just to make this a little bit different than what I usually do, I'm going to add loads of different random cuts across the face, just so it stands out a little bit more from other creepy clown makeups. So I'm going to use 3rd degree, so the A and B, which is basically silicone. You mix 50% of A to 50% B, and it forms a paste that you can apply directly to the skin, and it's going to raise the areas that I want to make it look like there's going to be some deep cuts across the face. So when it's all mixed together, and you've got this paste, I'm going to take a small amount on my spatula, and I think I'll just do them randomly going across the face. So I'm going to start with one going down here. So I'm just going to apply it in a bulk area. I'm just going to smooth the edges down. I'm going to take my spatula again. You could use like a toothpick or anything that could with a point to it, and I'm just going to score right down the centre. Just make sure each edge is completely tapered off. Unfortunately, you can't really see that before I colour it, but the idea is just to make the edge in the edge in the centre of the cut as sharp as possible, and the edges around it completely blended out. And then I'm going to do exactly the same again in other random areas of the face with different size cuts. So I've done a few random cut marks. I've done 2 on the cheek, 1 underneath the eye, and 2 on the forehead. This one here you can't really see, unfortunately, because it's on top of the latex, but I've got it going all the way down the eye. So just to make it a little bit thicker, because it's latex, I'm going to take some scissors, and be very, very careful if you're going to do this. And I'm just going to cut in between the silicone that I've made there, just to make the cut a bit extra deep. So there we are, so it's like a big cut going right through the eye. Yeah, so then I'm going to take some Snazaroo white watercolour and I'm going to use that to paint all over my face, my neck and my ears. Actually, I just realised my costume covers my ears, so I don't need to paint them, so yeah. Try not to make this too even, that's why I'm not using my cream Snazaroo Clown White, because I want this to be patchy and worn, so try not to make it look too perfect. Then I'm going to take some Snazaroo black watercolour and I'm going to use that to paint 2 stars over the eyes. So when I've got a rough shape of the stars and the placement of everything, I'm going to take a bright red from a Crayolan Bruise Wheel and I'm just going to go inside the centre of all these cuts that I made with the 3rd degree. I'm just going to take the dark bluey black, it's more blue than black I suppose, but I'm going to use that on the edge of each of these cuts just to make them look a bit deeper. Then I'm going to take some fresh scratch blood by Crayolan and I'm just going to apply that with a spatula just in the centre of each of these cuts. Take the black Snazaroo watercolour again and I'm going to start applying it in the areas where I want to be contoured. So I'm going to take hardly any colour at all and I'm just going to start lightly brushing on the colours in the area with latex, and I'm going to do my cheekbones as well. So just so I can make this go a lot quicker, I'm going to apply it in the areas that I want and I'm going to blend it afterwards and just show you where I've gone. So that's the rough shape I've gone for. So I've gone along the jawline and up here slightly either side of the chin, just to make the chin look a little bit more pronounced than it actually is. And I've gone down the cheekbones and my temples, and I've gone up here as well onto my brow. So now I'm going to take a new brush and no colour at all, just water on its own, and I'm going to use that to manipulate the black watercolour. So the idea is just to blend it out. I still want it to be quite harsh, but I want to blend the colour outwards completely, except for the areas I want to be more fatty. So I want the bonier areas like here to be shaded outwards, so it leaves this whole area here completely clear of any blending. And I've just blended the colour down here just to give a bit more of a masculine cheekbone. Then I'm just going to take a really fine brush and the black watercolour. I'm going to do a few crow's feet going in the direction as if my face was smiling, so they're going to be very, very rounded, and some are going to go rounded upwards. Then I'm going to do the mouth, so I'm going to use the same Snazaroo black watercolour, and I'm going to use a very, very sharply turned up grin, so on a very big bottom lip as well, because I want this whole area to really stand out. So that's the shape I've gone for, so it slightly curves up at the end. I just thought it'd look a bit more sinister than a regular grin. So then I'm going to take some Lip Tar by OCC. I love this stuff. This is their tarred colour, basically black, but it's so glossy and amazing. I just think this will make the mouth look really, really creepy, especially in this shape. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of this because this goes a long, 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 long way, and I'm just going to apply that all over the black. Then I'm going to take a Maybelline eyeliner gel. This is their Lasting Drama Eye Studio Gel Eyeliner 24 Hour in their number 1, their Intense Black, and I'm going to use that in the waterline of both my eyes just to make them look extra dark. And for the nose, I'm just going to take a tiny bit more of that black, and I'm just going to shade down the sides just to make the nose look a bit thinner, and I'm going to point the nostril right at the end just so it looks a bit more sinister. And I'm just going to make the nostrils a little bit sharper with the black watercolour as well. I'm just going to pop on my costume and my contacts and we'll see what we've got. And there we go. So I finished the look off by popping on my Jester costume, which I actually got off Amazon. I got it a while ago and I've never found the right opportunity to use it, so I think this kind of goes with it. I popped on two Sclera lenses by eyesbright.com. This is their Medusa lens. I just thought this looks quite cool with the eyes and the black and whiteness of it all. So yeah, so that's my creepy, evil, jestery type look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like it, please make sure to, you know, the usual, rate, comment, subscribe and all that jazz, because it really does help me out. And yeah, so until next time, bye.